Pre-event scrutiny is held 1 week prior to the race at Gturbo in Balcatta. This is the first chance to see what changes each team has made in the off-season or for new racers to put their vehicles on display.
Hi, my name is Jason Glear and we're here at Gturbo for scrutiny for round 1 of the 2020 Western Australian Off-Road Racing Championship. The Gturbo Rod Haddon Memorial Perenjori 360. We caught up with a few of the competitors as they get their cars checked out, ready for racing next week.
Finally, I'll be able to enter. Slowest car on the track, but I'm on the track. And that's what's cool. Polaris, 1000cc, naturally aspirated, so no turbo, no go-go, but it's going to go.
The vehicles are checked for safety and compliance with the regulations, and once they have been given the tick of approval, they are ready to hit the track the following weekend.
So we've got the car ready for 2020. Got a service at Polaris Central, thank you very much for that. Got a new sponsor this year, LA Car Carriers, helping us out with a bit of fuel this year. And got the Mad Hueys backing behind us again, helping out where they can. Look, the car's in mint condition. We're looking to get out in the first race and just have a clean run. Last year we finished 7th at this race in our class and 15th outright. So anything on top of that I'll be really happy with. So yeah, really looking forward to getting on the track and getting up there. Who knows, it could be wet, we don't know yet, but it's looking pretty monsoonal at this time. Been checking the maps and yeah, really looking forward to getting on the track.
Gturbo generously providing a free sausage sizzle, it's a great chance for the whole family to see the race cars and enjoy some of what off-road racing has to offer.
Well, I've tried to repair all the things that are broken. Engine rebuild, new engine mounts, new gearbox mounts. Those are the key things. So I'm hoping we're going to have less DNFs this year and be a bit more focused.
A massive thanks must go to all the scrutineers, volunteers and to Gturbo for making the pre-event scrutiny day a massive success. To check the form guide ahead of the 2020 race, let's look back at 2019. The 2019 Perenjori 360 greeted competitors with warm conditions as a field of 40 took to round 1 of the WAORC. As racing got underway, Darren Agrella prologued in first place and led from green to checkers with a dominant display, a statement of intent that would ultimately land him a maiden WAORC title. Phil Shepley flew the flag for the trucks, pushing his Pro 2 to the limit on his way to second outright. Whilst Mark Harris in just his second ever event was on a giant killing run in his Can-Am X3 side-by-side turbo, taking a strong third outright. Throughout the field there was action aplenty as the teams battled through the dust and heat, with less than half making full race distance. If 2019 was anything to go by, the 2020 Gturbo Rod Hatter Memorial Perenjori 360 is going to be an exciting one. The town of Perenjori is situated 348 kilometres north of Perth and was established as a gazetted town in 1916. The WAIC has been coming here since 2014. The Stan Cannon Sporting Complex is the event headquarters, with the start line featuring a spectacular transition onto the road and blast up the bitumen. Nobody tackles this spectator point better than Mark Murray and his turbo diesel extreme four-wheel drive Nissan Patrol. Let's take a look around the rest of the track. As the crews settle into a rhythm, the track features some fast farm roads and switchbacks around contour banks. These may seem straightforward, but as Harley Wren found out in 2015, component failure can make for a scary ride. For 2020, Off-Road Racing WA have unlocked an all-new section which has much more natural terrain, hills and exciting tracks. It remains to be seen if this new section will play into the hands of the buggies, trucks, side-by-sides or tin tops. As the crews pass into the second half of the track, they take in some sections which have been run in most previous editions of the race. The paddock jump is a nice little challenge to see who has their suspension set right. In the last 10 kilometres, the tip section awaits and has the potential to catch out crews who already feel like they are home and hosed. It may only be short, but a technical and bumpy line is ready to catch those who switch off for even a second. For those who can negotiate the 60-kilometre test and make it through to the finish line, their reward is to do it all again, as each section is run over 2 laps, with total race distance being 360 kilometres. Day 1 features a 21-kilometre prologue. This is a flat-out qualifying run where competitors will lay it all on the line to decide their starting position. Later on Saturday afternoon is the first section of the race, 2 60-kilometre laps making up the first section. Crews finishing day 1 will have the night to prepare their vehicles for day 2. Sunday will see 2 more 2-lap sections to crown the winner of the 2020 Gturbo Rod Hatter Memorial Perenjori 360. Okay, so we're here at Perenjori. It's Saturday morning and the competitors are getting ready to go out on reconnaissance. A lot of talk around is how it's rained last night and there's a bit of standing water sitting on the ground, so it'll be interesting to see if that water's actually going to soak in and create some mud, or if it's just going to run off and actually, still be dusty underneath. So we'll see how they go. The crews undertook a sighting or reconnaissance lap to check the conditions and familiarise themselves with the new and improved Perenjori track.
For the most part it's pretty dry, a little bit muddy sections here and there, but not too much, just pretty dry. Hopefully the dust won't be too much of an issue.
I think it's just a blessing actually. From what we've heard, the track's got some new stuff in it. It'd be great to think we can have a good crack at it with a bit of moisture on the ground and not too much dust.
Unfortunately for Brad Cooper, his race was over before it started. Engine issues surfaced on Recon, parking the Pro Buggy for the weekend. The scene is set and we're ready to go racing for the first time in 2020 as the teams roll out for Prologue.
Perenjori 2020, here we go. Ready for a lot of fun.
it becoming evident that the rains had not sufficiently dampened the dust, Prologue took on extra importance and the teams responded, throwing caution to the wind in search of pole position. With Prologue being a predominantly fast and straight 21km blast, it was expected that the higher horsepower vehicles would be tough to catch. So what an exciting Prologue session we've just had. We've got extreme two-wheel drivers locking out the front three positions with Phil Shepley, Harley Uran and Colin Doney. We've had some dramas with Brad Cooper not being able to continue in the race. He's got some engine issues. And Gavin Rogers had a boost hose come off, so he was unable to finish, but we'll be starting the section. We've caught up with a few of the drivers to see how their runs have gone, and the scene is set for a good section one this afternoon. First time WARC competitor Jim Cairns had an enjoyable run on his way to 21st outright and 9th in side-by-side turbo.
Well, it was just had Prologue. Prologue was good. Our buggy never done much work with it. This is our first sort of go outgoing. First time in a buggy for Bailey, the co-driver. But we couldn't do more than 110 k's down the straight. Didn't feel right with the belt temp and that, so we're going to put a new belt on for the main part of the race. But the track was good. The track was good everywhere. A couple of corners get a bit rutted, so you're like on railway line going around the corner, but apart from that, no stress. Beautiful.
So my bottom shock stripped out, so we done Prologue without the bottom part of the shock that holds the spring on. So hopefully it lasts, because there's no way I can get another part like that. Yeah.
Good run, yeah, it was nice. We biked it on a couple of corners, which was a bit silly, but everything was running really hot. I think everyone's the same though, so we'll have to look at some more venting or something, but the run was pretty tidy. A little bit slippery out there, but yeah, clean run and didn't make any mistakes, so here we are. So section one, don't let it cook really. It's a lot further than Prologue, and yeah, get to the finish without cooking anything.
Unfortunately for Shepley, he would not start section 1 after discovering a terminal oil leak. Notable results in the top 10 include Jared Percival, Murray Kiefer and Paul Nappy, who are all quickest in their respective classes ahead of Saturday afternoon section 1. With Shepley's demise, it will be the extreme tool drive of Harley Uren leading the field away. Signs of moisture from the overnight rain had all but vanished, and dust was starting to play a major factor. Gavin Rogers was one of the big movers, up to third from his starting position of 10th. We ride on board with Carl Richardson as he makes a move on the 1026 of Darren Alexander. George Metaxas was suffering from an engine misfire, which slowed his pace on day one. In the end, Harley Uren showed why he's a former winner of this event, leading the field by just over 3 minutes after the first 2 laps. Section 1 had seen many of the side-by-side competitors launch up through the field, filling 5 of the top 10 positions and leaving some of the much bigger vehicles with work to do. Barry Schultz was the production four-wheel drive leader overnight.
Yeah, we went alright. The car was playing up a bit. Obviously got some electrical problems, sputtering a bit. Wasn't going 100%, but we did alright. We finished, that's the main thing. And hopefully, yeah, we'll have a look tonight, get it going good for tomorrow, finish the day.
Former state champion Jared Percival was consistent on his way to 4th outright.
And we had a pretty consistent 2 laps. The first lap we really took it easy just to get in the groove and played it safe in a lot of the tighter and rocky areas. And then the second lap we sort of pushed a little bit harder to try and maintain our position. So we've come in 4th on time, which we're pretty happy with, to be honest. We'll got a long way to go tomorrow. I think 3rd to 8th there's only just over a minute between us, so it's all pretty tight. So yeah, we'll be pushing pretty hard tomorrow and see where we end up.
Hayden Hamilton was just happy to finish, and with the help of Polaris Central will be ready for day 2.
It was excellent, brother. I loved it so much. Yeah, it was an interesting drive. We're obviously looking at a problem right now. Okay, pointing towards the CVT, but I'm in the Polaris tent, dude. They invited me and I was like, hey, dude. I'm happy to be here.
With day 1 in the books, the racers prepped their vehicles and then enjoyed a hard-earned rest before what would be a grueling day 2. The Sunday morning section is often a vital one in the makeup of the race. A good time here can put you in contention for the last section push, or a mistake can drop you out of contention, and in the 2020 Perenjori 360 there was drama everywhere. It all started when leader Harley Uren dropped back through the pack after losing brakes. Murray Kiefer had a clutch failure whilst running in the top 5 outright and limped around for most of his first lap. After a quick secondary clutch change without getting out of the car, he made it back out for lap 2. Gavin Rogers was running an impressive second outright when he agonisingly ran out of fuel just a few kilometres short of the finish line, after the evolving track was hungrier than expected. Jake Klukas was putting on a charge. After starting 10th, he would set the second quickest section time. Ben Hodge had been having a superb run, deep inside the top 10 and pushing for more. He went for a wild ride in his Polaris Turbo S. WA number 2, Matt Burney's race was all but over, with axle failure sidelining the X3. Colin and Peter Doney moved into the outright lead, but their day wasn't without issue.
Been at home, that's all we've got to do. Got a bit of a clutch issue at the minute, not releasing, but that'll be okay when we get off the line. We've got a sequential box so we can still change gears without it.
The top 10 section times were a big change from the day prior. Doney, Purcell and Klukas had set up a fascinating finish. Sean Fitzpatrick and Paul Nappy were looming as dark horses in 4th and 5th, ready to steal a podium spot should there be any slip-ups, whilst Harley Uren was priming himself to claw back as much lost time as possible. As Pierre Horn summed up, it was certainly tough going out there with a little over half the field still running with one section to go.
Oh, it's been going pretty good. Car's running a lot better than it has been. I've been modifying the suspension a bit and I'm very happy with it. It's running really well. Yeah, just take it easy, finish. To finish first you must finish.
One section to go. Just 120 kilometres stand between the competitors and the finish line. top three left the line for the final 2 laps of the race, knowing that it was now or never in their pursuit to win the Rod Hatter Memorial Trophy for 2020. Murray Kiefer was back at full pace and was super impressive as he clocked the second fastest times outright for the section. But there was no denying the sheer pace of Harley Uren as he smashed the field to set the quickest section time of the weekend. All eyes were glued to the battle for first. Jake Klukas made a pass for the lead and was first over the finish line. Colin Doney battled his clutch issues to cross the line second, with Jared Percival breathing down his neck. It was a nervous wait for the crews as the times updated and it came through Colin and Peter Doney had won the 2020 Gturbo Rod Hatter Memorial Perenjori 360 ahead of Percival with Klukas in third.
Yeah, it got very rough in the end. We took off with no clutch in the last section. We thought, oh well, we just got to cruise at home because we're fair way at front in time, so that's what we did. We left 1:10 passes, and yeah, we're here.
Jake sort of charged through the field today and made up a lot of time, so it made the last section very interesting. But we managed to push on pretty hard there the last couple of laps. It was pretty close between Jake and Colin and myself, probably all three of us about a minute or 2 minutes apart on the track, which was good. But the car ran very well all weekend. Just only a few sort of minor issues, but other than that everything went really well, and I'm pretty happy with the weekend to come away with second outright and first in class to start off the year.
Yeah, no, she's pretty hectic out there, pretty tight. Then took it easy on the first round, then just got stuck into the last two, and yeah, gave it all I had and caught up Doney, and here I am.
As the champagne flies, it's time to have a look at the full results. Sean Fitzpatrick continued his consistent run to nail down fourth outright. Paul Nappy did not finish the final lap with engine issues, but this was still enough for him to win his class. Prologue went the way of Jared Percival and Darren Beckett, whilst Dion Visagie won Sportslide. Colin Doney had more reasons to celebrate, first outright and also first in Extreme Tool Drive. Carl Richardson battled all weekend to win Performance Tool Drive, with Hayden Hamilton victorious in side-by-side sport. Sean Fitzpatrick and Brett Funneman won the highly competitive side-by-side turbo class, which had the largest field of the event. Aaron Griffiths and Adam Webb won production 4-drive in their Prado, whilst Pierre Horn claimed the Extreme 4-drive win. The WAORC now sets its sight on the Gascoyne Dash at Easter for round 2 of the 2020 WAORC. For more information, head to www.waorc.com and don't forget to follow on Facebook. We will see you out there in the dirt.